Is it true that love is not required for a successful marriage? While a lot of married people I have come across believe this to be true, are they actually right? I was seated for a talk some years ago. I don't remember what the talk was about, but it triggered some guys seated around me to start talking about love. And a lady who sat in front of us turned around and said with so much disgust, "Love does not exist." I could almost feel the depth from where her comments came from. I remembered it all too well coming from girls who had had their hearts broken by guys who always told them that they loved them. And when she kept on talking, the fact that she was not at all different from these girls was clear. She isn't the only person that feels this way, clearly, but I can only wonder how people come to that conclusion. Is it that they'd heard it a lot from too many people before finally making it their belief too? Or is it because all the guys who said "I love you" to them were all liars? Is this enough proof to come to the conclusion that love doesn't exist and also that it is not required for a successful marriage? If they are right, then how come there are people who love their children and spouse even to the point of sacrificing their lives so that they can live? Can we honestly say that we truly know and also understand what love is? People who fall in love usually say that they have found their one true love. So if there is a thing as a one true love, then there should be a thing as fake or false love, right? If this is the case, then, given that what is the false nature of anything ultimately isn't that thing at all, then I dare say that there is no difference between love and true love. And fake love or false love is not love in the first place. Let's work with this. If you just realize that someone who claimed to love you had only been pretending because he or she had been selfishly trying to get something from you, then you will come to the conclusion that he or she never loved you in the first place, and you will be correct. Therefore, if we address that situation by what is really going on, we will be able to differentiate actual love from selfishness, which in this case was disguised as love. We need to consider how very important it is to be truly able to differentiate expressed actual love from expressed emotions disguised as love, such as lust, selfishness, deceit, and so on. Perhaps if we get better at doing this, we will re-examine our beliefs about if love truly doesn't exist and if it's truly not required for a successful marriage. What then is love? I've always had my own idea of what love is. That's until my second year in secondary school when I was taught that the Greeks had classified love into different types. The first, agape. This is selfless, empathic, universal, unconditional love. We can say it's expressed from a deep spiritual level of living, the type of love God has for His creation. 2. Eros. Romantic, passionate, or sexual love. We can say that our bodies are most stimulated by this feeling. In other words, libidinal impulses or sexual intercourse. 3. Philia. Platonic, authentic friendship, affectionate, intimate love. In this case, there's a sense of thinking alike or some mental connection leading to camaraderie because of going through things in life together. 4. Philosia. Self-love. Love and appreciation of yourself, which gives you the ability to appreciate and love others. Storge. Familial love or parent-child love. In this case, shared memories, familiarity that breeds fondness for someone. 6. Pragma. Enduring, committed, compassionate love. This is where partners have been through thick and thin and never stop loving each other all the way till their last breath. 7. Lotus. Playful, flirtatious love. That fresh feeling of falling in love. Number 8, mania or obsession. More of a survival instinct situation where one seeks validation from being loved and seeking it. Because this is described as an imbalance of eros and logos, which is another way of saying infatuation mixed with sexual attraction. I think it is safe to say this isn't genuine love, but more like an absence of it. Now, looking at the dictionary, the different explanations of the meaning of love have a descriptive phrase in common: a strong feeling of affection. I believe it's pretty clear that the Greeks might disagree with anyone who both claims that love doesn't exist and it is not required for a successful marriage. But I cannot deny the fact that there are people who love to have sex with other people and don't love those people. And this is primarily where the lady from the conference was coming from. At the same time, I know of marriages at the brink of ending because a partner was not fulfilled with regards to sexual love. The question I'd ask is, if the couple had any of the other types of love for each other, would it reduce the problem they are having with eros love? Clearly, if they can, and I believe that with willingness and effort, it's possible, it should be enough proof to them that love is very important for a marriage that lasts a lifetime. It's already obviously a fallacy that love doesn't exist, especially for the fact that you most likely love your siblings or parents or close relatives in your life. Even if you never loved any of these, you love yourself. After all, why do you get mad when someone annoys you? And why do you flee from danger in order to save your life? Or do what you can to sustain your life? So if you at least understand self-love, do you really think it's actually a good idea to go into a marriage with the mindset that love is really not required for a successful marriage? At least going over 7 of the 8 types of love earlier mentioned, even if we have difficulty fulfilling 7 of them, at least philia, philosia, pragma, logos, eros are aspects of love that you can't deny are important for any marriage. A married man once told me that love was not important in a marriage, that it was loyalty, trust, and understanding. But all I was hearing was him contradicting himself. Because anyone who loves his spouse would not think twice about being loyal, trusting, and understanding of his spouse. Those who do not love their spouse would not think twice about cheating, which already destroys their loyalty to partner, trustworthiness that you won't cheat, and understanding of how much hurt this will cause your partner. If you claim to love and still cheat, you are lying to yourself, because if you do love, you will not hurt your partner. The man who told me this is a Muslim, and from my understanding, the exchange of vows in a Muslim marriage involves the bride making a promise to be an obedient and faithful wife, and the bridegroom makes a promise to be faithful and helpful. They declare that they make this vow in honesty and sincerity. Anyone who is willing to be faithful, obedient, and helpful to another human being is basically going out of one's way to keep a person happy and is actually professing love. For married Christians who claim love is not required for a marriage, I would like to ask if they were not sincere when exchanging their vows, because the exchange of vows is a declaration to commit to love your spouse forever. I, Odili, take you, Ashionye, to be my lawful wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. And if it still isn't clear to you that you are declaring love to each other, it is explicitly declared at the end of the vows. I will love you, honor you, all the days of my life, till death do us part. Also, Receive this ring as a sign of my love and fidelity. Some vows even contain the phrases, I promise to never put anyone before you. I promise to do this for the rest of my life. If these aren't declaration of love to you, which they clearly are, then you probably don't mean them and truly don't love your spouse, and are not lying when you say that you honestly don't believe that love is required for a successful marriage. If this is not explanatory enough, then we might have to also draw from Paul, one of the apostles of Christ, to explain what love is. From my understanding after reading Paul's explanation, for a person to declare that love is not the most important thing in marriage is for that person to lay the foundation for a marriage doomed for failure before it starts. I will summarize. St. Paul points out in 1 Corinthians 13 that love is patient and kind, not jealous or conceited. Love is not ill-mannered. Love is not selfish. Love is not irritable. Love doesn't keep record of wrongs. Love is not happy with evil. Love is happy with truth. Love never gives up. And so on. If you read chapter 13 in its entirety, and you still believe that love is still not essential for a successful marriage, then I suggest that you might want to ask yourself if it's a good idea for you to marry that person you have in mind, because there's a chance you would unwittingly cause your spouse a lot of heartache, more than if you actually considered how important love is for the marriage in the first place. This makes it easier to cheat on your spouse, to disrespect your spouse, to be not able to identify his or her needs readily, to be unforgiving and too willing to divorce, too ready to have a fling after a little misunderstanding, believing that it's impossible to stick to one partner for life, domestic violence, and every other vice you can remember from a broken marriage. Do you and your spouse truly love each other? Or did you both come together for some other reason? I am not instructing you on what to do. I'm only giving you something to ponder on. Don't forget to subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it.